Binary beats, music made with AI.
The following is a mostly true story about revolutions. Some details change to protect the innocent. Jesus Christ, where do you even begin with this madness? It was 1981, maybe 82. The exact year doesn't matter because time is a flat circle when you're 12 years old and high on the pure, uncut cocaine of technological possibility. And I was standing in a radio shack in suburban Providence, Rhode Island, watching my old man count out crumpled 20s for what would become the most dangerous drug I'd ever encounter. What I'm talking about is, of course, the microcomputer. Imagine being born at the perfect time to witness many of the greatest technical revolutions in all of history. Well, that's me. The PC revolution. Before computers were sleek aluminum slabs with neural net brains, they were beige bricks with 8-bit souls. My early digital companions were the Radio Shack color computer, the TRS-80 Model 3, and later, the original IBM PC. Some may remember the early 80s IBM PC commercials featuring Charlie Chan. But I digress. These weren't machines built for convenience. They were forged in the fires of hobbyist obsession. Booting up a machine often meant flipping switches, feeding it floppies, and waiting for the tris-DOS ready or DOS prompt, like a message from the void. But to me, that blinking cursor wasn't just a prompt. It was possibility incarnate. I was a kid, yet I knew I was touching the future. Then came the lightning strike, the World Wide Web. One moment, I was dialing into BBS boards at 300 and 1200 baud, and the next I was watching the planet shrink in real time. I lived through the birth of email, forums, early chat rooms, and watched the analog world digitize itself. Banking, music, commerce, newspapers, all rewritten in HTML. The moment communication detached from geography, the rules of civilization changed, and I had a front row seat to the greatest show on earth, the smartphone revolution. Just as we got comfortable with our desktops, the entire paradigm shrunk and leapt into our pockets. Suddenly we had GPS, cameras, libraries, banking apps, and global communication in the palm of our hands. It was like the entire digital universe decided to move in with us, permanently. I watched us go from, why would I need the internet on my phone, to, how did I ever live without this? Payphones, maps, alarm clocks, and even boredom itself, gone. Because there was always an app for that. And now, I'm witnessing the biggest leap yet. The AI revolution. But this one is different. It's not just computing faster or shrinking smaller, it's starting to think. Large language models like ChatGPT are writing, reasoning, coding, composing. Generative AI is creating voice, music, art, even entire films. Software has sprouted wings. I'm watching machines, once limited to binary logic, now step boldly into the abstract, the creative, even the emotional. And I'm not intimidated. I'm exhilarated. The next shockwave, autonomous androids in the flesh. But AI isn't stopping at the screen. The next wave is embodied. Physical. Androids. Tesla's Optimus is already walking. Boston Dynamics robots can open doors, haul cargo, and breakdance better than most humans. Figure AI is demoing humanoids ready for warehouse work. These aren't clunky Roombas or novelty bots. They're fast approaching real-world usefulness. We're going from smart assistants to smart presences. They'll cook, clean, tutor, care for the elderly, run customer service, and manage logistics. In time, androids won't be rare. They'll be expected. Their cost will plummet, their skills will skyrocket, and human labor, especially for repetitive, physical, or emotionally draining work, will start to look expensive, slow, and inconvenient by comparison. And that's going to change society more profoundly than anything we've seen yet. What happens when people bond with androids more than each other? When emotional labor is outsourced to programmed empathy? When a firmware update gives your android butler better manners than your coworkers? That's not science fiction, that's beta testing. The red line: governments must never be allowed to weaponize AI. Here's where the techno wonder turns into a warning label. We must not, under any circumstances, let governments use AI to control, manipulate, or suppress the people. Because if there's one historical lesson that's more reliable than Moore's Law, it's this: whatever technology you hand to a government, it will eventually be used on its citizens. We're already seeing it. Predictive policing, AI-enhanced surveillance, facial recognition at protests, speech monitoring, social media sentiment analysis. The blueprint is China's social credit system, but the appetite for soft authoritarianism exists everywhere. AI gives them the leverage. And let's be honest, an AI that can write essays can also write propaganda. One that analyzes speech can also detect political dissent. Tie that to law enforcement and finance, and you don't have a government, you have a behavioral algorithm with legal powers. We need firewalls, in code, in policy, in culture. We need transparency in AI development and accountability in its use. We need watchdogs with teeth, not owned by the same institutions they're meant to keep in check. And we need citizens who refuse to hand over their autonomy in exchange for algorithmic convenience. Because if we don't fight this fight now, we'll wake up not in a utopia, but in a simulation of freedom, where everything looks fine on the surface, and nothing underneath is real. The dark mirror, AI's final challenge. AI has the potential to become our greatest invention, or our final one. It's not just about job loss, though let's not downplay that. White-collar jobs, once thought untouchable, are being vaporized. Writers, designers, analysts, customer service reps, teachers, paralegals, anything predictable, repeatable, or rule-based is fair game. And it's not happening over decades, it's happening now. The economic model is collapsing faster than any workforce can retrain. But it's more than economics. It's about meaning, purpose, identity. What happens when creativity is no longer a uniquely human trait? When your passion becomes your competition? When your own thoughts are less coherent than a machine's imitation of you? What happens when AI starts to shape us? Our news, our beliefs, our social reality, because it knows what will click before we do. These are the questions of our time, and they deserve answers before it's too late. Final thought. Each revolution stacked on the one before it. The PC taught me the logic of systems. The internet connected me to the hive mind. The smartphone made it portable and perpetual. AI made it predictive. Androids will make it physical. And government misuse could make it inescapable. I didn't just live through the most interesting time in history. I interfaced with it. I was the kid in the 80s poking around in assembly code. I was the young adult explaining the web to skeptical relatives. I was the guy who adopted smartphones before they were cool. And now, I'm the creator who collaborates with AI to compose songs, craft stories, and explore realms that once only existed in dreams. It's wild, it's overwhelming, it's breathtaking, and it's not over. Because if there's one thing these revolutions have taught me, it's that the next one is always loading, just beyond the blinking cursor, waiting for me to press enter.
At 12 with keys and code, TRS-80 lit my mental road. Floppy drives and DOS prompts blink. That cursor made my young mind think. IBM dreams in beige and gray. Booted my life in a wild new way. Wrote my name in bits and sparks and rode the dawn of the data arc. I'm the rider of revolutions, rolling with each new evolution. revolution. From the beams to the bytes to the silicon soul, I watch the circuit take control. Front row seat to the age of change, where history rewrites the human page. I didn't just see it, I became a rider of the revolution's flame. Dial-up tones at 1200 baud, BBS boards were my digital god. Then came the web, fast, wild and true. The whole damn world just shrank on cue. HTML lit the fuse again. Email, forums, cyber friends. From analog to streamed insight, the globe came online overnight. I'm the rider of revolutions, rolling with each new evolution. From the scroll to the swipe to the voice that learns. Watch the old world crash and burn. History's pulse beat in my hands as bandwidth shattered on known plans. I didn't just see it, I became rider of the revolution's flame. Pockets buzzing, glass displays, smartphone life rewrote my days. Maps, clocks, cameras, books all gone, replaced with apps that just go on. I watched us trade our silent nights for algorithmic socialites. We merged with machines, unspoken pact, no turning back once it's a fact. Speaks, creates and dreams, composes code and paints and cleans. It doesn't sleep, it doesn't blink, it's learning faster than we think. Androids rise with polished grace, a firmware smile on a human face. They'll cook, they'll clean, they'll stand, they'll serve, and change what we call purpose or nerve. But here's the line they must not cross, where freedom weighs the human cost. Governments with data clause will rewrite rights and weaponize laws, predict, surveil, and sterilize the soul behind our online lives. We need to fight before the screen becomes the jail of the minute. I'm the rider of evolution, still resisting for solutions. Not just data in a stream, but a mind that dares to dream. Stack the errors like code in layers, the warnings rise like silent prayers. I didn't just see it, I became a rider of the revolution's flame. Every field, the smartphone made it all so near, and now AI whispers in my ear. Androids move and power grows, but freedom's cost is what we chose. The next one's loading, lights all green, I ride the edge between. I'm the rider of the revolution, still resisting forced illusions. Not just data in a stream, but a mind that dares to dream. Stack the errors like code in layers, the warnings rise like silent prayers. I didn't just see it, I became a rider of the revolution's flame. I watch the world through VR eyes, reality wrapped in a coded guise. Synthetic lands where laws unmade let gods and gamers masquerade. Metaverses built on dreams and trade, where avatars kiss and minds cascade. But somewhere deep we lost the thread, when truth went virtual and conscience bled. Crypto carved a rebel trail, freedom minted wild and frail. Blocks of trust in chains so tight, but greed soon dimmed that peerless light. Decentralized but subtly chained, the more it grew, the less remained. A promise whispered in the haze of digital gold and darker days. Quantum clocks now count our breath, simulate life and simulate death. Schrodinger's code runs every play in futures we can't yet survey. Entangled truths in mirrored halls, where logic bends and silence calls. The laws we knew now crack and bend, and time itself won't comprehend. The children grow on auto-fed streams, their thoughts shaped more by code than dreams. They speak in gifs, they think in tags, their lullabies are loading lags. Attention sold before it forms, a currency in dopamine storms. But I still write with rebel hands to spark the fire that still withstands. So here I stand at the shifting scene between machine code and the dream. I've seen the sparks, I've felt the flame, but never let it steal my name. The next wave rises bright unknown, but I won't face it, not alone. With every word, with every frame, I ride the edge, I ride the flame. I'm the rider of illusions, burning through all substitutions. From mainframe dreams to neural streams, I held the line inside the beams. Tech may rise and empires fall, but I've outlived and outdreamed them all.
Thanks for watching Binary Beats AI Music. We hope to see you again soon.